Hare Krishna, good morning. How do we deal with defeat, with failure, disappointment, pain in our lives? We all meet with failure, disappointment, pain, defeat most of the times. I have seen many students prepare for competitive examinations like IIT, IIM, NEET, other examinations, and most people end up in disappointment. Very few people get selected. Why does that happen? I also see many examples around me where parents, married couples, they are looking for some blessings. They want children, but somehow the blessings are not coming. They go to temples, they do prayers, they visit hospitals, take guidance. Still, it does not happen. Children don't come their way. They're waiting and continuously putting efforts, but still they don't see results. Same thing happens in many other situations, even simple things like people book a flight, they put all the effort, they get stuck in the traffic and they miss the flight. Similarly, they may miss a bus or a train. Somebody may plan everything nicely in the kitchen, and next day they want to make some breakfast or lunch, but end up on the wrong side. The food is burnt and they don't know what. In spite of putting all their efforts, they stare at defeat, they stare at disappointment, they stare at failure. And most people I've been mentoring through Bhagavad-gita wisdom, they have these questions. These are timeless questions. This kind of situation was faced even 5,000 years ago by Arjuna, a great warrior of that time. He was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and the war is about to begin, and he gets confused about his duty, and then he's staring at only failure in front of him. He says, this war, whether I win or lose, I end up on the losing side. It is not victory. Even if I win, it is not victory, it is defeat only. And Krishna advises him. That's where this profound conversation happens, where Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God himself, guides Arjuna, who is his friend, and then he walks through this philosophy and wisdom and explains to him exactly how to deal with the victory or defeat. He says you should go beyond this victory or defeat. If you see the current global World Cup FIFA soccer event, I think like 32 teams have come up to play. But how did these 32 nations got qualified? There are more than 150 countries on the planet. Out of that, many people play. Many countries are still not yet qualified for this great event. Only 32 nations. And in the 32 nations, next level, very few people go. And then beyond that, knockout stage, then quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and ultimately only one team, because we humans by nature, we want to celebrate only one victor. So we give, even in every match, we want to decide only one. One only should come out victorious. Even they played best. In fact, sometimes it is so disappointing that the team which is controlling the ball most of the times, who got more penalty corners, but played almost like 70%, they played better than the other team. There are stories where the weak team wins, like in the final minute, final dying seconds, they hit a goal, whereas the ball was in the control. Great nations got disappointment. They cried and they got eliminated. This you see in the World Cup also. Very few people. come to the finals. And because we want to see them only one victory, and we don't want to see the defeated team, we only look at the victorious team, it's even more painful. And then what happens? They are going to have extra time, 30 minutes. Even that doesn't settle the matter. They go for penalty shootout. And in penalty shootout, and finally one victorious, and we are very happy. Oh, now I see a winner. The whole world is psychologically driven by this victory only. Arjuna was saying, like, I don't want this victory. I better not fight this war. What is the use of this victory? It's defeat only. And then there is, that reminds me, this conversation of Bhagavad-gita reminds me, like, where Arjuna is seeing only defeat from his perspective, or from his, he was a great warrior, not that he was a weakling, that he's scared and he's wanted many victories he had, even with the Devatas. Even like Lord Shiva, he fought on par, and Shiva gifted him Pashupatastra. Such a great warrior. Why did he feel that it is not a victory, it is defeat only? And then that reminds me from Ramayana, the story of Jatayu. Jatayu saw Ravanasura carrying away Sita Devi. And he's a huge, big bird, very strong bird. Among birds, he was the best warrior. And then he knows that his odds are against Ravana. Ravana had advanced weapons, and this is just a natural bird with natural weapons like its beak and claws. His beak and claws were the only weapons he had, and his wings, maybe he could flap and he could fly. Ravana was also having an advanced aeroplane carrying Sita, flying in the air towards Lanka, towards the south. And Jatayu saw that. He saw injustice happening. He could not take it. But did he keep quiet, scared of death? Oh, and he was sure that he will die. Because Ravanasura, such a great demon, that he has defeated all the Devatas in all the 14 planetary systems. You take any species of human life, he defeated them all. He was number one in the battlefield. And his weapons, no match to the simple claws and beak of Jatayu. But Jatayu went and attacked Ravana. He wanted to foil Ravana's attempt to carry away Sita. He knew he will be defeated in the attempt. Even he may get killed. That's what in the end happened. Now, who won the battle? Ravanasura or Jatayu? Incidentally, Ravanasura won, and he carried away Sita. Ravana got what he wanted. He wanted Sita, and he carried away Sita. And Jatayu, he failed in his attempt to stop Ravana. He fell. His wings clipped by Ravana's sword. He fell down. And then Rama and Lakshmana came that way. Ravana saw Jatayu. Jatayu gave the information. He was holding his breath to give this information. And Rama was crying Jatayu's situation, very pitiable situation. He was like all over wounded. Like Rama treated like his own father, Jatayu. He died in the hands of Rama. And then Rama performed the final rites of Jatayu. Like he could do his own father's final rites. Now, externally, it looks like Jatayu was defeated by Ravanasura and Ravana was victorious. But was Ravana's victory a victory? Was Jatayu's defeat a defeat? No. Ultimately, Jatayu was ultimately victorious. Within this material world, this victory and defeat has not much substance or meaning. That doesn't mean we are not asking you to, don't set goals, don't work hard. All these things Krishna is teaching, but he's also teaching something more deeper, not this superficial victory and defeat. He says you have to go beyond this victory and defeat. And that's where, he places dharma in the center. And he also teaches this is a world of duality. In this world of duality, victory and defeat are always there. Profit and loss is there. Heat and cold is there. Light and, you know, uh, darkness is always there. And he says, why this defeat is happening? Why victory? Many times, my students come and ask, Krishna, everything is in his hands. Why he has designed something like this? He is God. And we get these doubts, and they are very sincere doubts. We are going to answer these questions in the coming episodes. But here today, we are answering the question how to deal with the defeat. To deal with the defeat or disappointment, or when things don't go the way we want, like parents want their children to get married, but in spite of all their attempts, they try here, there, they post on internet, they tell their relatives, they tell friends, they tell children. Still, things are not happening the way they want it to happen. And then there is disappointment. Why is it so? The number one answer is this world is designed like that. This ecosystem is designed like that. It's a world of duality. Somebody is victorious, somebody is defeated. Imagine this ongoing World Cup. From some of them, we hear the story from childhood, like 2 years, 3 years, they started their journey. By the time they're 15, 16, 17, like teenagers, they are more matured players than, twice their age, like 32 years. 35 years, 36 years, the senior players, these teenage boys are already there, right on top of the world. So much sacrifices, so much determination, so much training, so much sadhana. So I mean, they give up so many things to achieve that final goal. But as we said, very few people, only one team can win end of the day, because we have designed the whole tournament like, no, we will have 10 teams winning the trophy, share the trophy. No, we don't. We want to break that. Only one team can win at any stage. Extra 30 minutes, penalty shootout, do something, maybe even a toss or some other way. But we want to divide one team and declare one as a victorious team. So the system is designed like that. The point is not to ask questions how to change this design, why it is designed like this. It should not have been designed like this. God is very unfair. Don't go into that, thing, because we still don't know God. We are just beginners. We are trying to understand why all this is happening. That's why God himself came to answer all your questions through Bhagavad-gita. This great book, Bhagavad-gita, he answers all your questions. Why? God could have made everybody victorious, 10 teams victorious. Why only one team? He could make all 150 countries. Everybody IIT, no? Everybody can be doctor. Whatever they want, he just gives. So there is a world like that. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, there is a world like that, beyond this material world, and that is much more larger, much more grandeur. He gives all the information that what world you are looking at. Hey, please, here is the address. Here is the way where you have to go to the booking counter and book a ticket for that world, where you want to see ideal, that there is no suffering, there is no duality. It's an absolute world. It's an absolute platform. That information also this Bhagavad Gita gives. Everything is given in this. But today's question is how to deal with disappointment, how to deal with failure. Many people are coaches, everybody is training them. Okay, you visualize your victory. It will manifest day in and day out. You train your mind to see victory. But in spite of all that, one team wins and one other team loses. So how to deal? You put all your efforts. The attrition rate, like insurance agents keep calling me and sir, we have some insurance, health insurance, this, that they'll call. What is the attrition rate in insurance? 100 people join insurance industry. 97 people leave in 3 months. 3 months, 97 go out. Only 3 survive. And the 2 are struggling just to make their ends meet. Only one who can take bread and butter to his home. Maybe 0.1% you see a successful agent. And then they post that. We don't know the statistics. How many people like who want to make money, they enter into this YouTube. From last 12 years I am watching. What is the attrition rate on YouTube? People come onto YouTube, they do their best, they have the highest talent, where they are recognized in their town and village with great talent, they have won awards, and then they think, okay, here there is one Mr. Beast. He earns some millions of dollars through YouTube. Mr. Beast. So he's my dream. I want to be there. And then all these youth, kids, young, old, everybody, retired, all enter YouTube. They want to make career and money like some huge, big people, successful, who are making a lot of money. The attrition rate is no different from insurance industry. 90% give up after making some few videos and posting it, and then they leave. In 3 months time, they are out of YouTube. They pursue something else. This world is designed like that. That's why Krishna is telling, this is the ecosystem, this is the material world, this is where I have created all these qualities of victory, defeat, success, failures, heat and summer. All these things are there. Now, how to deal with it? First, he says you must deal with it with your mind. Understand what is this. So for that, to deal, you have to read Bhagavad-gita. Otherwise, it is very difficult to deal. Some people artificially, some coaches and all, they train them that you should deal with it, but it's not possible to deal. Or even they may be teaching these principles from Bhagavad-gita. They may not know it is from Bhagavad-gita, or they put aside Bhagavad-gita and then they tell as if their knowledge, but the principles are same. If somebody is teaching how to deal with failure and pain and disappointment, and when things go wrong, how to deal with your life, Bhagavad-gita is the source of all knowledge. If it is there with some coaches, sports coaches, it's the same knowledge. So how do you deal? Psychologists also teach something like this. But only thing is they don't tell it is from Bhagavad-gita. Or they may not know it is from Bhagavad-gita also. I mean, to be fair to them, I'm not criticizing anybody. But all the knowledge originates from Krishna and Bhagavad-gita alone. And here we are drawing people's attention into this Bhagavad-gita. So there Krishna teaches, the first one is, pain is temporary. This disappointment is temporary. This heat and cold are temporary. This profit and loss are temporary. The problem is we want only profit. We don't understand this. Profit also is temporary. Loss is temporary. Yeah, okay, I'll wait for profit. But profit is also is temporary. Today you are world champion and next day you are nothing. It's temporary. Momentary you are world champion. Some other champion will come up. The season goes on. Next season somebody else is victorious. But you are a part of the history. So the shloka, what Krishna is talking to Arjuna is, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukhadukkadaha agama paino nitya stam stitikshava bharata. Titikshava. The first lesson he is giving is, you must tolerate. Tolerate what? Only defeat? No, victory also. You tolerate victory, but you cannot tolerate defeat, means you are defeated anyway. You must tolerate both. Some people say, summer I feel good. Some people say, winter I feel good. That's okay. I mean, that is your body and things. You are identified. Your body is more suitable for summer than winters. All that is okay. But when it is not suitable, things are going against you, you have to tolerate. Tham sthitik shava bharata. The translation is, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent. In this world, nothing is permanent. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course, or like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata. And one must learn. So what is the first solution Krishna is giving? How to deal with your failure, how to deal with your defeat, how to deal with your disappointment, how to deal with your pain. He's telling, learn. Learn to tolerate them without being disturbed in the mind. You learn, you tolerate. Yeah, this is what the world is. The attrition rate is 97%. So I'm one of that 97%, or I am one of the 3%. The attrition rate is 90%. in the World Cup is like, I don't know, attrition rate may be like people who attempt to go to the World Cup, and out of that, most people even don't get qualified in their local clubs also. It's such a high tournament, and that's why it looks like splendorous, glorious, and all that. And Krishna says that splendorous, glorious, all there. I am the person. You have to see me there. So learn to tolerate this, understand this world is designed like that. And we must understand. So it is not to understand why it is designed like this. Before that, to understand that you must learn to tolerate this. Later comes why he created like this, that we will answer later. Krishna himself answers in Bhagavad-gita. We'll draw your attention to that in maybe in coming videos. But please understand, this world is a world of duality. It is non-permanent. Dukkhalayam and Ashashvatam. This world is created like this. He has made Krishna as temporary. And he declares everybody who is born has to die. And everybody who is dead has to be born again. Of course, he gives another path tangential to that. Normally, if you die again, you have to be born. Reincarnation is there. And you say, how long I go again? So intelligent people question, why I have to go again and again through this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam in this chakra. So he says, yeah, so you don't want to go this, ferry wheel going up, down, up, down, up, down like that. You are very intelligent. So for those intelligent people, he says, you come to me. You come back, there is another world where all this duality is not there. It's a perfect world. Come to that world, material and spiritual world, Krishna declares. So the first lesson is to deal with defeat, to deal with victory, you have to tolerate. If you don't tolerate, that victory also becomes defeat only. Imagine, nobody likes a proud athlete. People love a gentleman, even though he is defeated. He may be not world champion, but he may be a nice person. Then you like that. You don't like an arrogant world champion. Nobody likes that. He won but people will just neglect him. People don't like that. All those qualities also is given. So you have to tolerate. And then the next question, the next tip or instruction Krishna gives, how to deal with your disappointment, your defeat, your pain, your not meeting your expectations, the way you want things to go, it did not go. The next thing he says in same second chapter Bhagavad-gita, like first he says, you must learn to tolerate. Now he says, you must stay stable in both. I'll read that shloka. Text number 38, chapter 2. Sukha dukke same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yuddhyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Sukha dukke same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau. That is, you must consider happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. You must not consider. Sukhe dukkhe same kritva, treat them as equal. And not only that, even if both are equal, then why should I fight? This is the question. Many people get a wrong idea. If there is no victory or there is no defeat, or if both are same, my motivation is gone. Why should I fight? If according to Bhagavad-gita, both are same, why should I work so hard to get into IIT, to get into NEET exams, successful professional examinations, IIMs, IITs, NEET, this, that, IAS, IPS. Why should I work so hard if both are same? That is not. That's why Krishna immediately tells in bold, highlight, italics, this. Another phrase in the same shloka is very, very important. Bold, underline, italics, red. I'll read that. Tato yuddhaya yujyasva. You must still fight for the sake of fighting. You must still perform your duty. You must still be motivated to play the game according to your best capability. You are trained for that. Again, I connect the dots to Jatayu. You must fight for the sake of fighting. Jatayu followed this. Because he fought for the sake of fighting, Jatayu, although defeated, is victorious. Whereas Duryodhana also became the king before Kurukshetra war. But until today, nobody considers his victory and he becoming a king as something great. He is defeated only. Even on the throne also he is defeated. The Pandavas, without throne, they don't have good clothes, they are in the forest. They're still victorious. They're still our heroes. They're worshipable. People who understand Bhagavad-gita know this. Today, very few people do not understand this. They don't understand how Jatayu fought. And then he died. And that is victorious death. And same Bhagavad-gita, second chapter. Happy are those Kshatriyas who get the opportunities to die. I mean, how many of you are happy? Early morning question I'm asking. How many of you are happy to go and get killed in the war? We are scared. Let somebody's children go to army. My children should stay safe in the house next to me only. I feed him food. He should not go to the war. Some of us like that. But Krishna is telling the real Kshatriyas. Happy are the Kshatriyas who get this opportunity to die. Jatayu was happy to die for Rama because he fought for Dharma. And fighting for Dharma, you win also, you win. You lose also, you win. Ultimately, Jatayu dying in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. I think that I get tears in my eyes. I think of this like how many people get this opportunity to die in the hands of Ramachandra, God himself. There are so many stories. Abhimanyu, again in Mahabharata, Abhimanyu story. He knew to go inside. The odds are against him. And he doesn't know to come out. And once he goes in, he cannot come out. Very little chances of returning back. And nobody knows to, break this particular formation except Abhimanyu and Arjuna, who was taken away by Krishna elsewhere. And among the people like Yudhishthir, Bhima, nobody knows to break this army. But he says, I know how to enter, but I don't know how to return. But for the sake of his army, he'll go in. Until today, Abhimanyu is celebrated. And he was killed in the war. Who was victorious? All these, great warriors, the seniors. And this boy was very young. And many people cry when they read Abhimanyu's story. Why Krishna created like this? Don't ask those questions. We will answer those questions in a separate. It's not a small thing like I give one-line answer on YouTube. Comment section, I just give and nobody will understand. That needs at least, 30, 40 hours of training. You have to go through my training to come to an understanding of that why. It's not an easy subject matter because we have been trained like that, only giving importance. Krishna says, go beyond. There is something else in between this victory and defeat. That is the dharma. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He's telling, I've created, but to establish dharma. For the dharma you fight, you lose also, it is okay. You are losing also, it is okay if you fight for dharma. Now, why is Krishna telling this? Just fight for the sake of fighting doesn't mean you are not motivated. Doesn't mean you have to stay lazy. I'm not motivated. I understand victory is millions of times more valuable. That's how you have created in the recent times. All these people teaching something different. They're teaching some secret where you visualize only success. And many people also, shub shub bolo. What is shubh shubh bolo? They don't know what is shubh and ashubh. They'll say shubh shubh bolo. Just to stay in comfort zone is shubh. Going out of comfort zone is ashubh or something like that. They want sense gratification. They want to stay in safety zone. Bhagavad-gita is not staying in safety zone. When Krishna says both are samekritva, equal, treat them equal, doesn't mean that you don't perform your duty. You perform your duty to the best of your capability. This morning lecture, you want to carry back one thing. Remember Jatayu's story. Remember Abhimanyu. Remember Ramachandra's brother Bharata. Lakshmana. What characters? They put aside their own comforts. They went out of comfort zone to serve Rama. Bharata got an opportunity to become king. It was his throne. How many politicians will think like Bharata today on this? You don't see one. That is why these scriptures, these Puranas, Shruti, Smriti, all these Pancharatras, they're very, very important to understand. So we are not here to change or alter the nature or go against the nature of this world. We cannot. It is beyond our capacity because this world is designed like that. But we can learn how to go through this world and then get out of this material world like Jatayu and see, next life is better or go beyond. Fight for dharma to the best of your capability. Tatha yuddhaya yujyasva. Please make notes. This is very, very important. Therefore, you fight for the sake of fighting. The mother has to perform her duty, however difficult it is. A father must perform his duties, however difficult and challenging it is. And in the bargain, sometimes things can go wrong. It's okay, you tolerate. You prepared out of 365 days, there are some bad days. Every day in the kitchen you won't get a perfect day in the kitchen. You don't get a perfect day in the office. And that doesn't mean you get disappointed and next day, you lose. I know many aunts. They used to be such good cooks. When I was young, I've tasted their food. If there are 10 aunts, I have 8 have lost interest in the kitchen. They don't feel motivated. They're disappointed. They don't want to. Going into the kitchen is like going into hell for them. They're given up. But I see 1 or 2 aunts, they still love to go into the kitchen. And they have that, happiness going and performing their duty. Like Jatayu is very happy to get killed in the fight with Ravana. And it was not a shame for him because, today we feel disappointed. I lost. Fighting and losing is not a shame. You don't fight, then it is a shame. He fought. And he fought for Dharma. He fought for Sita. He fought for Ramchandra. Defeated? Yes. But he got the ultimate victory. Beyond this material, defeat and victory, he got the ultimate victory. So stay motivated and perform this duty until your last breath, day in and day out. You please perform your duties. Okay? The another instruction Krishna gives how to handle your failure, your pain, your disappointment, not meeting your own expectations, unable to reach your goals, whatever you have set. He says, you get into a temporary depression, disappointment, sadness, unhappiness, maybe a day or two, you feel, you reflect. But Krishna says, bring back your mind from disappointment. This is a beautiful verse. Uddared atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanaha. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy all as well. If you forget dharma by just one defeat, in the kitchen something went wrong on one day, and there was too much salt or something, and you totally go into depression and you give up your duties from next day. No, 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 this is not for me. He says no. Defeat is only a feedback. It gives you feedback, so you have to be careful next time. So that victory or defeat, it doesn't define you. Oh, everybody is praising. Oh, Prabhuji, Mataji cooked so nice. Oh, recipe is so nice. And then somebody says, not so nice. But that doesn't define you. You work on your continuous improvement to the best of your capability and capacity. You may know only to make one or two nice recipes, be happy, serve within your capacity, within your capabilities, and then you serve Krishna. That same one, two simple recipes, then that is real victory. Your recipe may not be as good as a five-star hotel chef who is paid, lakhs of rupees to perform his, or you are not a chef who win international awards they show on television, uh, shows how they present that. You may not know how to present so well and all that. But when you cook and offer to Krishna, Krishna is only looking at your bhakti, that mood, bhavagrahi janardhana. That bhava is very important. Those people who have this bhava without comparing, oh, I'm not a good cook, self-talk, nobody appreciates me. No. Make your mind is telling so many things. You are not good enough. I don't look so good in camera. Oh, other people look so good. I'm not such a good cook. I'm not such a good student. That girl or that boy is always toppers. I don't know. And you go more and more and more into depression. Your mind is sinking. So this shloka, you must remember. Number one is you must tolerate, to learn to tolerate. In spite of setbacks, you must still perform your duty. Treating both victory and defeat alike does not mean you become lazy and then you give up. Krishna is telling you must still perform your duties. And here he's telling lift your mind. Uddhared atman atmanam natmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Here Atma means mind in this context. In Sanskrit, Atma has three meanings: body, mind, and soul. In this particular shloka, in this context, when you read this particular chapter of 6th chapter, 5th text, here it means mind. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So, if you listen to your mind that you are not good enough, your mind is your enemy. It will destroy you. You tell the mind, hey, I'm good enough. I'm good enough for Krishna. I may not be good enough for all these people. I'm doing my best capability and capacity. Jatayu telling, I'm not good enough for Ravanasura's strength and powers and his, ultimate weapons he has. But my beak and claws are good enough to serve my Lord Rama and his consort Sita to the best of my capabilities. I'm good enough. And he fought ferociously. He almost like if you read Ramayana, like he was almost, and then again you ask why Krishna did not defeat. Ramayana would be over there itself. Why Jatayu got killed? Krishna is so cruel. All these things come in people's minds. Where is God? Why God is like that? Why he arranged? If Krishna wanted, he could arrange Abhimanyu to be victorious and kill all the 10 people. Krishna can do anything. Rama can do anything. Rama could have made Jatayu kill if he wanted. Jatayu is empowered to kill Ravanasura. Again, come back here. It is not victory or defeat. Jatayu, even though he defeated, from your mind, materialistic mind, you are asking these questions. Please get into your mind that as you go through this journey of Bhagavad-gita and Krishna, as you just started, that's why you get doubts like this. And because you are very, very sincere, you get these doubts. You are not challenging. You are like struggling to understand why, Krishna could do this way. He could have written the script of Mahabharata this way. He could have written the script of Jatayu's script, that episode. He could write this way. I wanted that Ravana to be killed there itself. I also feel. Really, I feel. 100% I am with you. I wanted Jatayu to kill Ravana. He almost killed him. Like, Ravana was like shocked. How this bird is, he has defeated Devatas, and this Jatayu is fighting so ferociously. He could, like, all bleeding. Ravana was also like totally bleeding in his body. So many wounds on Ravana's body. But what to do? Against my wish, Abhimanyu died. Against the way things I wanted to happen, Jatayu died. All these are lessons for us to understand. If it can happen to them, who am I? I'm small, piddly, gidly fellow, and I'm looking, I want things to happen like this only. Things won't happen like this only. Why? That I will tell in the next shloka. Paramatma is in control. You are not in control. It's a beautiful shloka. For success, 5 ingredients are required. And then we want to tell only this to the people, to the students preparing for NEET, IIT, IIM. Hey, you are preparing, these 5 ingredients are required. For defeat also, these 5 ingredients are only required. I'll read this beautiful shloka. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritak vidham vividhascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. 5. This is, please take notes, chapter 18, text 14. In the chapter 18, text 14, Krishna is telling Panchamam. These are the 5 factors of the final outcome. Or even for the final outcome, I said, the adventure, that means the process, and then victory, the final outcome or defeat. The adventure itself is so much important. So even for the adventure, for your effort and process of performing and your learning and all that, before you go to World Cup and get qualified, and then until you go finals, you win the finals and you lift the cup, from childhood to until that journey entire is an adventurous. That entire process, these 5 factors are required. And final victory also, this 5. Now you get defeated there, these 5 only, because throughout this process, these 5 are involved. When you get to this understanding, then you feel like, oh, is that so? I am not the only one responsible for the final outcome. There is something beyond my control. I cannot control things. Only I can control to some extent. Beyond that, it is beyond my control. Somebody else is controlling me, actually. I am just a puppet in the hands of something else. Arjuna asked the same thing. Why I am forced to do something as if something is forcing me, like a puppet. I don't want that result. I don't want to do that, but still I end up like that. So please understand this and make notes. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritak vidham vividhascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So the 5 things are the place of action, that means your body, and the performer, the soul, the various senses, that means all your 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses, and your circumstances and different kinds of resources that you have, and your endeavor also. Apart from these 4, ultimately the super soul in the heart, the Paramatma, is the cause. He is there. So stop trying to design, control. It is the other way. The system is designed, instead of trying to go against this duality or redesign duality, understand you cannot go against this duality. You are limited. Whereas Paramatma is unlimited, God is unlimited, Prakriti is also, compared to your strength, Prakriti is also very, very, Maya is very, very powerful compared to us. We are very limited, conditioned souls. So when we understand Paramatma doesn't want this, we just perform our duty to the best of our capabilities. We must perform. Don't stop. Don't become lazy. If victory and defeat are the only same, Paramatma is one of the ingredients of success. Then I leave it to Krishna. I'll just sleep. He will take care. No, Krishna is saying, no, I won't take care. I can give blessings. I can give instructions. I can guide you. But finally, you have to act. He did not tell Arjuna, okay, you don't want to fight this war. You sit, I will fight. No, he said, you must fight. But he also said, if you don't fight, I will ask somebody else to take over your position and I will make them victorious. But he was telling, rise, Arjuna, rise. Chapter after chapter, chapter after chapter. He's telling, rise. He gives more confusion, more doubts, more questions. But after answering all the questions, rise. Rise and fight. Perform your duty. Oh, I don't feel like going into the kitchen. No, rise. Go into the kitchen. Perform. Oh, my body is aching. My head is aching. No. I mean, I'm not telling extreme cases. We are not sadistic here. Krishna is not a sadist. If you have problems, real challenges, you should know how to deal with that. But under normal circumstances, if everything is, you are okay, but you don't feel like man nahi lagta, then your man, you should come out. Okay. We are not so sadistic telling like somebody is like, cannot even walk or somebody cannot even do something. They are on a wheelchair. We are not forcing them to do certain things. Please understand in the right perspective what we are trying to tell, what Bhagavad-gita is trying to tell. We must use our common sense. Some people take these instructions to extreme levels and end up in more problems and then putting, Paramatma into a fix like, no, we are here as simple servants of Krishna and Paramatma to perform our duties. Best of your capabilities means you cannot, you are invalid right now. You depend on somebody else, that is fine. That's a different circumstances. But understand, Paramatma is always there. Once we understand these 5 ingredients are there for success, sometimes when setback comes, Krishna, for some reason, don't want this to happen, or he's taking his time. Understand it like that. Paramatma knows that you are trying. Paramatma knows it is there. Suddenly you cannot make this sale. Suddenly, sale will happen. But every day you must perform the same duty. You must make your sales calls. You must make your telephone calls. Yeah, I must do at least 10 calls a day. That is my duty. Now, 10 calls results in 1 appointment, and 1 appointment you go, and in a month you get 20 appointments, and 20 appointments you make 2 sales. I mean, that is the statistics of your performance. Then do that. Now, on certain days, you make 10 calls, you don't get even 1 appointment. On certain days, you may get 2 appointments. It will average it out. Then what you should look at, you should look at your skill set, try to improve your skills. Okay, based on this performance, this is output. So the final result is only a feedback to tweak your process. Get the feedback, improve your skill set of making the calls, and whatever is your work. Now today your husband or guest, somebody gave a feedback, there is more salt, nothing for disappointment. It is not a shame. You got to feel, oh, so sorry, Krishna. Oh, is it so? Don't try to be defensive. That, no, I think it's okay. No, it's not okay. They're giving a feedback. So, is it so? Like somebody will tell me, Prabhu, you please change your camera. Some blur, it is coming. Oh, is it so? Let me fix. So then I change the camera. Now I look more sharp in this image. If you see the earlier videos, the image is not so good. Why should I get disappointed that they criticized? That is not criticism. He said your image is not sharp enough. You feel hurt. Yeah, I put so much effort. I spoke. He's not looking at that. He's just talking about my image. Prabhu, content is very good. You spoke very well. I mean, not many lectures I have heard like this. I mean, wonderful. He told so many things, but he says, Prabhu, you please better change the camera. And nobody told me. I get defensive. Nobody told me about my camera. All my students are giving 10 out of 10. I ask Murali, he says 10 out of 10. I ask, Anubhav Patal, he says 10 out of 10. I ask Geeta Rani, 10 out of 10. Another person, 10 out of 10. Namata. Why, who is this guy coming and telling me? It's not 10 out of 10, Prabhu, 7 out of 10. Why? Your camera is somehow I watch not up to the mark. I don't feel like watching too long. He told me bluntly. Now, how should I take it? Defensive? Nobody told me, everybody praising me, everybody gave me 10 of 10. So you are discounted. I don't take it. Out of 10 feedbacks, I'll take only 9 feedbacks and give up the other feedback. So the outcome is only a feedback. Take it, and if it is really, really, not, consider that. And if you see, say there is some meaning to what he's telling, take it, change your camera. If possible, if you have some budget, you can buy a new camera and try. And then you feel happy and you ask the same person, yes, Prabhu, now I'm enjoying. It's very nice, Prabhu, really nice. After you change the camera, it like elevated your appearance, your presentation is top notch, Prabhu. Now I can give you 10 out of 10. And then you feel happy now. Now you become defensive. You don't want to change. You become stubborn. You listen to your mind. You don't listen to good advice outside. You don't use your common sense. Where is Paramatma? I'm doing so much. He's sitting right here. I don't believe in God. I give up. I've been chanting. I've been doing this. I've been doing this. So I give up. So this is very important to understand that these ingredients are always there. Now coming to the almost to the conclusion. And this is a very, very important part. I told you must how to deal with defeat, disappointment, pain, cannot meet my expectations, all these, how to deal with that. Krishna gave certain instructions, but this is the instruction of all instructions. This is very, very important. He says, when we are doing all this, getting this feedback, adjusting, you are trying to improve your process, you are trying to perform better. He says, throughout that, you must remember me. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Oh Arjuna, as you are fighting, think of me. Simultaneously, you must think of me. 2 tracks, material track, spiritual track. You're fighting in the war. As you are fighting, you must remember me and think of me. And there is another shloka here. Always depend on Krishna. When you always depend on Krishna, your victory also becomes victory. Your defeat also becomes defeat. And it has got nothing to do with your people's perception of your victory and defeat of this world. It is beyond this duality. You become Jivan Mukta. While you are living in this material world, going through this material world, you're already liberated. While you are cooking, maybe some salt is more, some salt is less. Don't blame Paramatma. I'm not the controlling factor. Paramatma is watching. He made me put more salt. That is another, stubborn nature. So Paramatma is guiding, but you don't listen. You are not attentive. So blame ourselves. Don't blame anybody else. This beautiful shloka I will read. In all activities, yat karosi, yadasnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat. Whatever you do, whatever you act, whatever, like you are an insurance agent or you are a soccer global World Cup qualifier, now fighting for the World Cup, or you are an ordinary housewife or homemaker, you are a student studying for your examinations, or you have just finished your studies, you are making applications to get a job. You may be a peon or attender in a bank. You may be a sweeper in the corporation of your city. You may be prime minister or president. And beyond this planet Earth, you may be Indra in Indraloka or Chandra in Chandraloka. or Surya in Surya Loka. You are the Dikpalakas. You are Kubera, one of the great devatas. Whatever you are, it doesn't matter. Only this matters. Please write down the shloka number. Later you can refer. Chapter 18, text 57. You may forget other things, but this is very important. Don't forget other things, because those are also Krishna's words only. He's guiding us. You must learn to tolerate. You must make your mind your friend and come out of depression very quickly. All these instructions he's giving. Understand this duality of this world, so you know how to adjust. Now, this is what is very important. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. You must feel the protection of Krishna. Jatayu was feeling the protection of Krishna. He got defeated. Ultimately, he got killed, but he was victorious. So that's how you must feel the protection of Krishna. But the protection, what we think is, I must survive with no wounds. This is what a protection we define. That's why these historical incidents and these leelas and all the acharyas give us to understand. The protection is not the protection that what we define as protection. The protection is what Krishna wants. He wants you to be glorified. He wants you to become a devotee. He wants you to get out of this world and go back to Krishna, to that absolute world where there is no victory or defeat, no heat or cold. On the absolute platform, all these things are not there. So even though in this material world, Jatayu was performing his duties on absolute platform. Even if Ravana did not pass by, even Jatayu did not go and fight with Ravana, he was living his life doing this. Even before, that is an incident later happened. Throughout his life, Jatayu was living this verse. That's why he could go and fight with Ravana. If Jatayu did not live on the basis of this verse, he would not go. He will be scared. He will be in the comfort zone. Oh my God, he's having so many weapons. I don't have any weapons. I am ordinary. This is Ravana is very superior. He has, fighter. What is that? Fighter jet. He's going in a fighter jet. He has bombs. He has all the astras, shastras. He is well equipped. How can I go and fight? No. Jatayu lived this shloka throughout his life. That's why that culmination we can see. If he didn't live this throughout his life, he cannot go and attack Ravana. So what is that Jatayu lived? This is what he lived. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Was Jatayu lost? Never lost. Not only in that incident, throughout his life, Jatayu was never lost. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. So these three shlokas are very, very important. 4 shlokas, 56, 57, 58, 59. I'll read the Sanskrit and the translation and then I'll stop. Okay. Sarvakarmani apisada kurvano madvyapashrayah matprasadadavapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. So when I'm reading this, just mnemonic, remember Jatayu. My devotee Jatayu will reach the eternal and imperishable abode of by my grace. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. In all activities. So, Chetasa Sarva Karmani, text 57. The previous one was text 56, chapter 18. Now, text 57. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogam upashritya machittaha satatam bhava. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So, whatever you are doing, you may be a medical representative, you may be a salesman, you may be an army man, you may be a police, you may be a homemaker, you may be a businessman, you may be a shopkeeper, you may be a vegetable vendor, you may be a street sweeper, you may be a prime minister, you are a president. It doesn't matter. Whatever your activities, today we have skewed up the whole system that this is all not proper. Only that. Earlier, people used to deal with each other with a lot of respect and dignity. Today, we have skewed up the whole thing. We are not following Bhagavad-gita. That's why the world is, so many problems. Text number 58. Machchittaha sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran na shroshyasi vinakshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So if you don't hear to Bhagavad Gita, you don't follow Bhagavad Gita, you will be lost. Krishna has declared. So you want to be lost in this material world and go through the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi cycle again and again, or you want to go back to Krishna with great victory like Jatayu. It's a victory. Come on. Normal people, if I tell, they will say Ravana is victorious. Jatayu is lost. Ravana, wow. He got what he wanted. He took away Sita. Oh, success. Is that the success we are looking for? No. This is a success we are looking for, not that success output. Although we are planning, we want to execute. That success or failure, we take a feedback, we redo the process. But in all that process, you're doing everything nicely and you are continuously improving. But this ingredient is not there, that you are living under the protection of Krishna, always thinking of Krishna, acknowledging his empowerment, always in your activities, every minute at the back of your mind, Krishna, Krishna. If you are not remembering, even if you are a billionaire or a trillionaire, you are a loser, according to Bhagavad Gita, according to traditional wisdom of Veda. You are a loser. In this material world, you may be a World Cup FIFA champion. But if you don't acknowledge to God, you may not be from Hindu or Muslim or Christian or whatever it is, you don't acknowledge God in your mind, then you are as good as a loser. You are a trillionaire. Oh, I only did everything. False ego. That is not really victory. And then, you laugh at other people after winning the victory. You take the cup. And if you show, nobody will appreciate. Millions of people watching on TV will not appreciate you if you show some arrogance. That victory is actually defeat only. Earlier, we see 50 years ago, 70 years ago, even the senior sportsmen, they say, Amara time pe we were not seeing this kind of, attitude by the youngsters. The way they walk, the way they talk is totally gone. People used to be gentlemen those days. People are talking like that. So this is very important. So, yad ahankaram ashtitya, text 59, chapter 18. Na yotsya iti manyase mithyais sa vyavasayaste prakriti stvam niyokshyati. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Even if you don't listen to me, your nature is you will go and fight somewhere else. Later, at least, if not today, you will have to still fight. So this is the way we deal with defeat, deal with our disappointment, deal with our pains, deal with our not meeting our objectives or things that we planned did not go the way we wanted. This is the way to deal with. So thank you very much. If you come until here, please, for the pleasure of Lord Shri Krishna, I request you, if you think this information is very useful, it touched your mind somewhere, it touched your heart, you feel very good about this, and you want this message to reach more people, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And in the comments, I would like to see questions, not just, excellent, very nice, beautiful, all that. I feel very happy and blessed. Thank you for your blessings if you give me all that comments. In addition to those encouraging comments, which are welcome, very much welcome. I need them so that I can improve. But in addition to that, please ask a question, because I don't know, need-based preaching, like what you are looking at, for what kind of questions you are getting. If I could answer by Krishna's mercy, I feel myself very fortunate and lucky. I'm staying under his protection. I want all of you to stay under his protection. And please join me in this journey. Let us take this Bhagavad-gita for Life Hub to many, many, many more people. And many people gets benefited, and Krishna will be very happy. And that is real success. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I'll stop here.